Alrighty, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chupacabra's Lair. I am your host, Larry, the delightful Chupacabra, and we're back for more game jamification with the Ludum Dare number 32 game jam. And we'll be starting out our lovely adventures here with Dreamscape, done up by Peach Pie Productions, whose delightful games that I have checked out before. And this is a game that takes us into the colorful roguelike world of a cute little kid here with his teddy bear. Reminds me a lot of the kid from Among the Sleep, which was a pretty interesting horror game, though not quite as scary for the more initiated amongst horror game viewers. And we've got to go into these dark realms of lucid dreaming. We have to fend off the darkness and the scary wolverines, and I think like the Dove hair care people are like testing on animals again or something, but we gotta do all that stuff. So this game plays a lot like Binding of Isaac. You've got WASD to move around and do the stuff, and then you shoot, or in this case, you use your Death Ray, your Nikola Tesla brand Death Ray, in order to purify all of these cute little woodland companions. So actually, they are literally our woodland companions. We can run up to them, and we can gather them up by using E. And now, as we fight, they will queef up their lunch in the form of deadly, carrots, or if we have like a fox or something, like dog bones and all sorts of stuff. And then this chest allows us to shoot friendship out of our laser beam cannon flashlight. And you guys will have to forgive me. My throat is kind of going in and out on me because I am suffering really badly from spring allergies. So, our goal, aside from not getting mauled to death by these sociopathic bunnies, reminds me a lot of that Candy Mountain Massacre game that Adult Swim Games put out a long time ago. We just have to roam through these procedurally generated rooms, gathering up items, purifying our dreams, and fighting the evil wolves to turn them into cute little puppy dogs. And there's some sweet, delicious, sultry music, and I don't know what the deal is with fart bubbles that are full of Crayola paint. I think that's a product placement for the newest brand of Crayola marker. And as we go along, we gather up more power-ups, and eventually, somewhere in here, there's a really spicy boss man that I have yet to find that, is not too keen on us purifying the world of dreams. This is pretty good, you know? They say it's inspired a lot by early Zelda games and the Binding of Isaac. Certainly, the format and the controls are very Binding of Isaac-y, pretty much exactly like Binding of Isaac, minus the crazy combination of weaponry. And a lot of, like, monsters constantly spawning out of nowhere, rushing straight for your little child jibs to wrestle you to the ground and maul you out of your dreams. Then you gotta go to your parents and maybe you wet the bed. It's just a mess, really. So we're gonna try and avoid the bedwetting by purifying the land of dreams. I like it. It's good. It's very fun and arcadey. I actually have to pay attention to what's going on around me, or else I'll get murdered by the cute bunny rabbits. And then occasionally you get these, oh wow, I don't think I've gotten 3 chests at once before. That is just overkill now. I'm going to just massacre the world of nightmares. I think this, if I actually had to give this like a reference, a direct reference, I'd say somebody took Little Nemo in Dreamland, one of my favorite movies as a kid. Not because of the nightmares, but just because of how crazy all like the zeppelins and like almost steampunky toy technology was in that. And they took Little Nemo in Dreamland, and they brought it into the Binding of Isaac via a mod, and we have to go with our Avada Pajama, Banana, Fofana, Bajazzle, Crab People, and we got to stop the evil nightmares from invading the wider world. And I think this type of a game could totally transition into its own full-fledged roguelike game. That's the word I was fumbling for. I mean, it's got a lot of the great hallmarks here. It's got a lot of spooky enemies. And much like the Witch's House, you could add some different kinds of enemies, some weird puzzles, and maybe some long flowing rooms as opposed to just the your standard square room to kind of break it out of the mold a little bit, and this could be a crazy adventure. You know, you could have your own little version of Rainbow Bright, which was a show as a kid that I found in the old VHS closet when I was sick, because my sister was really into that show. And we had, like, all of the original Rainbow Bright videos when I was growing up from my sister on Betamax, of all things. And Betamax was great. I don't remember why VHS won over Betamax. Maybe it's a superior format to Betamax. But Betamax was great. My parents had a Betamax recorder / VCR. And yeah. You could like, why are we in Dreamland, you know? Why was Among the Sleep so crazy and kooky? What was it? It's like, you know, you could just take Little Nemo and Dreamland. The demons have come to your realm of dreams because some weird magician storyteller has come to your town and is telling stories at the local library, and they're giving kids freaky nightmares because they're old Aesop's fables from Europe. And you have to travel through these realms of darkness. Oh, I'm running low on companions. And you have to save everyone. That seems sensible. Then, as a way to kind of delineate it from roguelikes even more, I think the one thing I always wanted in roguelikes was, as the difficulty got higher, rather than the bosses just experienced higher levels of difficulty, higher levels of health, and complexity in their patterns, maybe the bosses just get, and the enemies just get smarter in this game. But overall, I dig it. It's got some fun. Oh, I got murdered. But I've restarted back here at base. It's got a lot of the good hallmarks. I could do with a mini-map, definitely. Oh, I can't seem to acquire animal companions. Oh, they are. Oh, I still have my animal companions. Fantastic. Hello, animal companions. But it's got good music. It's got all the hallmarks of your typical really fun roguelike game, very arcadey type roguelike game, and I think that was the goal. So nice job, guys. And I think the unconventional weapon here, because that is the theme this time around, is this, well, this flashlight. I vaguely remember growing up when I was very, very, very little. My parents bought me a flashlight, and the trick with the flashlight was there was a little knob on the side, and the knob... Oh wow, this is just getting ridiculous with all the colors and shapes. The little knob on the side would allow you to change the color of the flashlight, so that you could change it to blue, to red, you know, all those fun, kooky kid things. And I think it was actually originally supposed to be for, like doing shadow puppets on the wall, but I just used it like a regular flashlight. I even took it to campouts, scouting. I think I spray painted it at one point, and then the spray paint peeled off. That flashlight had a good run. And it was a powerful flashlight. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, besides the fact that, you know, you could have a Technicolor light show. So nice job, Peach Pie Productions, and if you guys are interested there at home in playing this game for yourselves and finding the Nightmare boss themselves, which I am still looking for even right now, you can play this at home. I believe there's a web version. I'm playing the PC version just because it runs better while I record. It's good stuff. Nice job, guys. Add a little bit more depth, add some crazy, like, weapons that are all light-based as opposed to just a shit ton of shapes. I think you could definitely evolve this into a great, like a mobile game, or just another Binding of Isaac-inspired roguelike that goes crazy. Just take the concept of fighting with light and childhood creations gone nightmarishly rogue, and you could take this. Oh, never mind, I found the boss. We are sticking with it, guys. This is happening. Make peace with it. Oh, yeah, we're gonna have to fight this boss before we end here. At least die to the boss. That's how Larry's gonna roll here. Right. Oh, wow, it's a giant, scary bear. Nope, get out of here. Smokey, we talked about this. Just because you went on to be the Marlboro Smokey Bear does not mean you gotta get saucy with me, alright, sir? Sir, we talked about this. I didn't burn the forest down this year. That was not me. Sir. Oh, they're exploding into, friendship and light. Oh, isn't he cute? Nice job, guys. This was a cool game. Alrighty, next up on our adventures today for the first Ludum Dare game is Flail Rider, which is a fun and definitely arcadey game done up by Juicy. And this was Juicy Tiomi's first participation in the Ludum Dare Game Jam. And this game was created using Photoshop, Unity Personal Edition, and Audacity for the sounds. And this is a game where, as you may have noticed from this title screen, we are playing in a cute little yellow car, dragging around a totemic-sized flail. And we are going to go and vandalize and destroy some public property, some of Larry's favorite activities. Though usually I like to do it involving eating sheep and goats, but you know, to each their own. I'm a Chupacabra, so let's just jump in here. So, funny enough, so that this game played better for Larry, I have actually done something that I once considered rather sacrilegious, and I have equipped a game controller to my computer. I'm actually using a PS4 controller on my PC in order to get this to be nice and fluid, and this is a game all about all about driving around and in the time limit allotted, destroying as much of the scenery as possible, getting as much damage done to all of the buildings and public landscapes as you can, and just trying to beat your high score. It's sort of like an endless smasher type game, although the original version here is not randomly generated. It is the same every time. But it's just, you got these cool minimalist houses, you got the Ludum Dare signs, and we can jump around causing all kinds of havoc and destroying stuff, and being especially careful not to crash our car, because if you hit pretty much anything with it, you get destroyed. And then, you may have noticed, like right there, there's this little blue thing. That's a power-up that lets me just charge around in infinite invincibility mode, sort of like the stars in Mario, and I can just go crashing and thrashing. And then some of the buildings contain a yellow orbule, which then allows me... Oh, I think I just got one. Just extended it. These yellow ones here, these make my ball extra big. I think that's what they did. But anyway, this is just a fun game, you know? I played a lot of games like this when I was a kid, where you just go around, roving around, smashing through houses and destroying them. There was this great Wreck-It Everything game that involved, like, monsters, where you could unlock different, like, Godzilla-style Wreck-'em Ralphie monsters, and then you could just destroy, you know, fight the police, murder people, eat people, destroy houses, punch helicopters out of the air, and I see some potential for that in this game, you know? Flail Rider, it's very simple. If you added some procedural generation to the mix, I totally believe that you could turn this into an endless smashing game and throw it up on, like, Android devices, iOS devices, just Steam, for the heck of it. I mean, this is a game that you could have different power-ups, you could unlock different crazy zany vehicles. Maybe instead of a ball and chain, you've got a game with a flamethrower, or you've got a car that you drag around like a piece of a building or a piece of a bridge. You could get a crane wrecking ball car that's like got a crane like Road Warrior duct taped onto the back of it that's like falling apart over time. So you've got to like get a bunch of debris wedged in it to keep it attached to your car. You could have crazy power-ups. You could have to fight off tanks and the police and Walker Texas Ranger, or something that seems like a Walker Texas Ranger. Chuck Norris joke would be perfect. You could have the Texan car where you had like a Longhorn that was on the back of your, or on the front of your car that you could occasionally plow into buildings with, and then there's like a sleazy Winnebago on the back covered in spines or something. This could be great, and I've had a lot of fun even though I'm not the best at drifting. Just running around and smashing buildings and murdering stuff. Now, aside from that, you know, it's a good unconventional weapon, you know, a chain taped to the back of a car. Maybe you could have like a boat too. But, only kind of qualm I have is this game was designed for a much smaller screen, so it plays nicely into the web, which is fine, but I guess Chrome, with all the warnings I've seen on the Ludum Dare site, I guess Chrome's being a bad boy, which makes sense to me, because I've had no trouble, or end of trouble, using Chrome to record games in the browser from previous jams. So, I fully understand that, but this is obviously meant for a much smaller scale screen, and it doesn't run the bestest. The other thing is, I feel like the physics on the ball and chain could do with a little bit of work. You know? It just like, it feels like it just kind of stops, whereas the ball of chain should like build up momentum over time, so I could stop dead in front of these buildings, and then that ball could like continue in its arc until it's like run out of a hidden meter full of energy. But aside from that, you know, it runs decently smooth, there's good sounds, there's a nice soundtrack in the background that Juicy put up on SoundCloud for everyone to hear. I think that was done by a friend of his. And no, I like this game. I think this game could be a whole lot of fun if you turned it into an endless wrecker, maybe something like Risk of Rain, where there's a small, kind of subtle storyline going on in the background for a campaign mode where you gotta go through, like, specifically controlled levels that are the same every time. I don't know, I like it. I think with this nice minimalist art style, it would be really easy to build out full towns. Maybe you can, as you unlock more levels, you could go to the jungle, you could go to the Sahara, you could go destroy you could go work up Katamari Damacy style and build up a gigantic wrecking ball, and you could destroy, like, the pyramids of Giza, or, I don't know, the Eiffel Tower. Just like a monument wrecking game mode would be awesome, actually. So, nice job, Juicy. I like this. There's just a couple technical hiccups, like, you know, I'm sure you can see, like, the graphics wig out as you play. Again, because I'm playing this at 1080p, 60 FPS. Excuse me. I'm playing this at 1080p, 60 FPS, so games meant for a much smaller dimension don't always scale well. So aside from that, it's good. I like it. I could use something actively trying to kill me, along with those other things I mentioned, and yeah, it's good. I think you could take this and go to town with the design and just create it into a lovely sort of Android mobile game on top of being a nice PC game. Although I'm not sure how you do the controls. You might have to use, like, the accelerometer, which would be tricky. That could be an option, which might be fun. Maybe, like, you could do some drifting mechanics with, like, Tokyo Drift-style braking. I like it. Nice job, Juicy. Here's hoping you go far with stuff like this. And let me know if you or Peach Pie Productions do anything cool in the future, because I would love to take another look at the stuff you're working on. And especially if anyone that I preview adds onto their game, I'm always down to see a refined, revised version. So, that's it for this first video, everybody. I hope you enjoy, and I also hope that my allergies get a little bit more under control, because my throat gets incredibly tired, which is why I didn't actually manage to do these videos a little earlier this week, because I practically lost my voice at one point earlier. So, until next time, make sure to check these games out in the description. If you participated in the Game Jam, and you have the ability to vote on these delicious games, I encourage you to click the links if you haven't played these games and voted on them already. I think I still have the ability as one of the video creators to vote on games. I'm not certain about that, so I'll definitely be voting shortly after this video on several games that I've been playing. And I'll catch you next time. There's more Ludum Dare coming up, some more games. They're freaking delicious. You guys always have great stuff you come up with for these simple game themes of an unconventional weapon. I even had somebody submit a game that involved dildo sabers, so that was differenty. So until next time, guys, I've been your host, Larry the Chupacabra. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me out a whole bunch. I notice a whole bunch of you have already subscribed. Thank you for that. And I will catch you next time. Toodaloo, everybody, and have a wonderful day, evening, morning, or pan-dimensional adventure if you're that Neoclid guy. You know who you are. Bye, everyone.